Well, hello and good morning. This is Jeff Hooks. I want to welcome you to our Victory Nutrition International Quick Start Training Call, Quick Start Training event for this Saturday, December 1st. Can't believe it, December 1st, 2018. We are excited. I'm excited that you've invested time out of your busy schedule, out of your busy Saturday, if you're listening to this live. Or via recording, where we appreciate the fact that you've made a commitment to invest in your future, in your business as part of the VNI family. And we got a lot of great information to share. We do this call with a few exceptions of holiday weekends. We do this event, we do this video conference live every single Saturday. And the purpose is very simple. We want to help you and your team grow your business. We want to help you reach your goals, whatever those goals are that you've set for yourself and your family with the VNI business. We want to equip and empower you to take your business to the next level. So in some cases, some of you are brand new as you listen to this, and hopefully you've got a pen and paper ready and you're ready to take some notes, or a digital device, and we're going to help you get through that learning curve very, very quickly as you set the sails and launch your VNI business. We also have many of our top leaders and emerging leaders, and we've got a fairly new director that's plugged in live that I saw when we were in the pre-event, and you might ask yourself, if you're fairly new to the VNI family in terms of launching and building your business, if this is a quick start training, why would some of our top leaders and emerging leaders take time out of their Saturday to plug into this event? And if you're asking that question, or you think that's a logical question or a good question, then here's the answer. Because our leaders recognize two things. They recognize the importance of leading by example. So in other words, said differently, our leaders recognize that their team will do what they do. So if you want your team to plug into these events, to learn and grow and improve, to sharpen your skills, to learn best practices, to take your business to the next level, if you want your team to plug in, then you've got to plug in. And of course, everyone who's hearing this message is walking the talk. You're plugged in yourself. Let's face it, you and I both, all of us have a lot of other things we could do on a Saturday morning. But if the business is a priority, which it is, if the world needs these amazing scientifically validated products, which the world does, then we've got a job to do. We've got urgency, carpe diem. Let's seize the day. It's a brand new day. It's a brand new month. It's a last month of the year. And our leaders recognize that, hey, we've got to set the pace. You've got to set the pace for your team. Your team, here's a little leadership nugget if you're taking notes, and hopefully you are. Your team will do what you do, not necessarily what you say. Think about that. Another way to say it, one of my mentors in this business model almost 30 years ago now said, he said, well done is better than well said. And so back to the point, our leaders are plugged into this event live very consistently because they want their team to plug in. The second thing is, our leaders and our emerging leaders recognize the importance of growth, the importance of learning. None of us is as good as all of us. We all learn from each other. This past Thursday night, Dwight Halstead led our Thursday evening product and business overview presentation with me. And every time he talks, I learn things. Sometimes it's the way he phrases something. Sometimes it's a fact he'll bring in, talking about the timing of our business model. We learn from each other. And leaders are learners. Earners are learners in this business model. And so one of my favorite non-biblical quotes is from the former amazing, great UCLA basketball coach, John Wooden. John Wooden used to say, it's what we learn after we know it all that counts. It's what we learn after we know it all that counts. And so our leaders and our emerging leaders and everyone that's plugged into this live or via replay understand the importance of learning every day. And so that's the reason we do these calls, and we got some great information to share. I want you to write down a word for me. Let's go ahead and get to work. I want you to write down the word intentional. I'm going to give you just a second to write that down. And by the way, if you're looking at your chat bar, it's a very good point. Where it says Victory Nutrition International, that's Bill and Kim Downs. So our founders understand the importance of leading by example. I understand, as your president, serving you and working with you and your team, the importance of leading by example. And you, because you're listening to this event, you're plugged in. You're not just listening, you're engaged. Understand the importance of leading by example. So here's the key. Stay focused on the principle of leading by example. Recognize every day your mindset, your focus, your attitude is going to duplicate whether you intend it to or not. So that's why we want to always sharpen our skills and plug in and learn from each other and share best practices. So back to the word intentional. We want to help you, and I want to encourage you, no matter where you are. Some of our top income earners plugged into this call that have been with the company since the beginning. Okay, we can always, it's a brand new day, it's a brand new month. We have to remind ourselves to be intentional with our V&I business. Again, these products, these amazing science-based products that the world needs, unprecedented, peer-reviewed clinical studies on our finished products. Okay, the world needs these products. And as we talk about consistently every week, we need more people to join our mission of helping people become beacons of health, hope, and abundance, and spread these products, spread this mission across the U.S. and Canada and around the world as we move forward. Okay? We're looking for missionaries, not mercenaries. We're looking for servant-focused leadership. The way you and I achieve our goals for ourselves and our family is by helping other people reach their goals, physically from a personal wellness standpoint with our products, and financially in terms of lifestyle with this business model. So back to the word intentional. Intentional means we don't want to just haphazardly do some things every day or every week or every month and hope that our business grows. Okay, from a business, hope is good by itself. Hope is good, obviously. Part of leadership is encouraging and instilling hope in the team in terms of what's possible. But hope by itself, hope without being backed up by action, is simply just a wish. It's not based in reality. We got to back that hope up with action. There's a book even. One of my mentors used to say, hope is not a strategy. Hope's got to be backed up with a specific plan and consistent action. So back to the word intentional. You and I have to be intentional. You need to be intentional. I'll speak first person in terms of your vision, your goal for your V&I business. You've got to be intentional about your activity. You got to be intentional. What's your goal for the month of December for your V&I business? What's your personal goal? What's your activity plan that's going to help make that goal a reality? And then we got to take action. We got to get after it. Now think about this. What if, back to the word intentional, what if you decided you wanted to grow a garden this coming spring in your backyard? Let's just say, if you don't have a backyard, pretend you've got a backyard. And so you went to Home Depot or Lowe's or your local, seed supply company, and you bought seeds for the type of garden that you want to grow. Okay. And so you spent some money, you spent some time, you put forth some effort, you went and got the seed, brought it home. And then stay with me here. Let's just say every other day, as the notion struck you, every few days, sometimes a couple days in a row, but let's just say, 2 days later after bringing the seed home, you're on a phone call and you think about, I want to start my garden. And you open up one of the bags of seed while you're on the phone, you're doing other things, and you scoop out a big handful of seed, and you're still talking on the phone, and you open your back door, and while you're talking on the phone, you just sling that seed out the backyard, and you shut the door, and you keep going on about your business. And then a couple days later, you're getting ready for dinner, maybe with your family perhaps, and you think to yourself, oh, I'm going to grow a garden. Okay, I'm going to grab another scoopful of that one seed, and I'm going to grab a different seed, and I'm going to get to the back door. I'm going to open that back door, and I'm going to throw the seed out. And you did that periodically for a few days over the course of a few months. Sincere question. What kind of garden would you have? What kind of garden would you have? And of course, the answer is you wouldn't have a garden. There'd be nothing. There'd be nothing that would even show that you attempted to plant a garden. And unfortunately, and I say this with love and respect, some of our wonderful members of our community are fooling themselves, kidding themselves into thinking you can build a V&I business that way. And you can't. So back to the word intentional. You and I have to be intentional about the way we build and grow the V&I business. The power of part-time is a very real concept if you're intentional. If you make your V&I business a priority. I always tell people part-time, you can build a global distribution empire with V&I over the next 3 to 5 years and beyond if you want to. Part-time. Spare time is a different ballgame. And here's my definition of both. Part-time, you're intentional. Your business is a priority. It's just a function of how many hours per week you're putting into your V&I business of productive activity. Focused, consistent, productive activity. 3 hours a week, 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week. You can build an amazing business with us part-time. Spare time is the example of the garden. Spare time means I'm going to do V&I when I've got nothing better to do. You know, I'm going to do V&I when the notion strikes me. I'm going to throw some seed out the window. I'm going to be driving down the road. I'm going to roll down my window and I'm going to throw some seed at somebody. And I'm going to roll my window back up and get about my business. And so part-time versus spare time. Intentional versus haphazard. Consistent versus inconsistent. Focused versus no focus. Follow-up, follow-through versus no follow-up, no follow-through. That you get that? That's the difference. So we're going to talk about the power of part-time. But I want to just, again, draw circles, highlight around the word intentional. You got to be intentional. Part-time is just a function of how many hours you do the right activities on, and when you do that over a consistent basis over a period of months and years based on the size of your goal, the size of your dream, then folks, you'll be amazed at what can happen and what will happen with your V&I business. But again, remember the visual. I think it's a good one. You don't want to take, look, this is good seed. This is the best seed in the world in wellness. And we just got to put it in the good soil. We got to put it in the soil the right way. And not everybody, the bird, you know, as Jim Rohn said, if you ever heard it, the birds are going to get some of the seed. Some of the seed's going to blow away. Not everybody's going to engage with the product. Not everybody's going to engage with the business, but we don't need everybody to. We're building a customer base. And for those of you that want to build a team, which is why you're plugged into this event, it only takes a few key people that see what you and I see, missionaries, not mercenaries, that want to roll up their sleeves and engage with us and make an impact in the world, make an impact, a positive impact in a world that needs it with these amazing products. It only takes a few key people and some time. You plant the seed, then you got to take care of it. You got to add water. You got to have some sunshine, et cetera. And so being very intentional is the key. All right, so we're going to move forward. There's two keys to success that we touch on every single Quick Start event. And the reason we do that is because it's that important. 2 quick tips, and then we're going to get into some of the meat and potatoes of the power of part-time. The first is stay plugged in, just like you're doing today, just like you're doing, even if you're listening to this via replay. We record all these events Because if you're traveling, if you've got a family function, if you've got something, we don't want you to miss anything. You can listen to it. You can watch it tonight, tomorrow, Monday. It's available and it's there working for you 24/7. You bring a new partner in today, later today, tomorrow. Get your December off to a great start. Break the zero in December and bring on a new customer, a new partner. If you need any of the content, we've got it for you. You could share this content with a brand new person that wants to build a business with you that comes on board this weekend. You can forward them the recording and they're up to speed and haven't missed anything. That's part of our system. That's part of our the system that's in place to help you build and grow your business. We're going to teach you how to build a team and a business that is system dependent, not what I call sponsor dependent, meaning you're not the lightning rod for everything with your business. Think about it. If you're building this business part-time and you've got, let's say 10 hours or 12 hours or 15 hours a week, and then your team, you put 3 or 4 or 5 builders in the business and they each put a couple people in the business, all of a sudden you got a team of 15 or 20 people. If they all need a phone call with you once a day, you're running out of time already. So you've got a system, you've got content like this that you can leverage to lead, support, and shepherd and coach your team. Everything we do is intentional, and we want everything you do with your business to be intentional. Okay, so stay plugged in. Stay plugged in, folks. That's such an important, I've never seen Lone Rangers win in this model. Even with these amazing products, when I say win, that means reach your goals, because it's a team sport. Again, none of us is as good as all of us. When we're a team, when we learn from each other, and it's a team sport. You don't have to figure this thing out. It's paint by the numbers. We know what works. We know what doesn't work. And it's a very predictable model. And so therefore, staying plugged in ensures that you're nourished on a consistent basis. You know, if you've had a bad day or a bad week, or you had some disappointments with your V&I business, somebody that you thought would engage with these products, somebody that you know needs the products, and for whatever reason they said no, the timing's not right, they're preoccupied with life, or you've got somebody that you know could be amazing in this business, that you love and respect, that you would love to lock arms with and build an empire, and the timing's not right and they don't see it. Stay plugged in. Stay plugged in. Get filled back up. Get encouraged. Sharpen your skills so that you can get filled back up and go back out to the marketplace, sharing and caring this mission with V&I. So stay plugged in consistently on a weekly basis. Stay plugged into your upline success coaches. Okay. Have some don't just. I'm not talking about chit chatting. I'm just talking about, at least I can't imagine any active part-time partner with V&I not connecting with their upline success coach. That's their sponsor or their sponsor's sponsor, somebody in their upline, their coaching team, a couple of times a week at least, especially if you're active, because you're doing some 3-way calls, you're doing some follow-ups, you've got some questions, etc. So stay plugged in to your upline success coaches. Stay plugged into your back office, the news feed on the partner side of your website. And if you don't know what I'm saying, then get back with your coach and get familiar with your marketing website. Just a couple of weeks ago, we did an in-depth training that's archived in your website, in the news feed of the partner side of your website, on some of the content and the tools that are available to help you share the V&I story, both from a product standpoint and a business standpoint. So go back and watch that. Okay, so stay plugged in. Stay plugged into your back office. Stay plugged into these Zoom events we do every Saturday. Stay plugged into the monthly calls. Okay, this coming Monday at 8 o'clock, there'll be a communication, as always, that comes out from the corporate team, from our marketing department. But Monday at 8 o'clock is our monthly product call with our founder, Bill Downs, and co-founder, Steve Kushner, our head of research and development. That's one of the highlights of the month. Tuesday night at 9 o'clock, next week, Tuesday, at 9 o'clock Eastern, is our monthly kickoff call for the month of December. And we're going to be featuring some field leaders, some partners that are doing some amazing things. And they're going to share some of their tips on what helped them have such a productive November. So a lot of exciting things going on. Stay plugged in. Stay plugged into the Thursday night Zoom presentations, okay? Number one, stay plugged in. Number two, do something positive every day to build and grow your business. Share a Protivite moment with somebody. Keep it in your briefcase, keep it in your car, keep it in your purse. We've got some people that pack up every morning a little cooler, and they'll put 3 or 4 Protivite moments in, so they're always chilled. And they're ready to share. When the opportunity presents it, they're ready to peel this back and invite somebody to taste and experience Protivite. So do something positive every day. Maybe it's a follow-up call. You'd be amazed at how many wonderful, well-intentioned members of our team will share V&I. They'll share the product. They'll share the business. They'll invite somebody to listen into the Zoom. And then they won't follow up. They'll let 3 or 4 or 5, 6 days go by, and they won't follow up. And folks, people are busy. They forget what they saw and heard. They forget the emotional impact and the fortunes in the follow-up. So when you're planting seeds, don't just open up that back door and throw seeds out. You got to add water. You got to make sure there's some sunshine. You got to make sure you got to pluck the weeds. The weeds will grow without any help from us. So you got to pluck those weeds. Important stuff. So stay plugged in, do something positive every day, and recognize that consistency creates momentum. And that segues into the power of part-time. Now I'm going to start my screen share. Actually, no, I'm not, because if I show you what I show you, I don't want you to jump ahead. All right, here's the key. The power of part-time, folks. A lot of times people don't recognize, again, stay plugged in, do something positive every day. That second component, do something positive every day, translates into the principle of consistency with your V&I business. And the leaders, when I share what I'm getting ready to share with experience, are going to nod their heads knowingly. And everyone else, just like me a few decades ago, are going to say, "That wow, really? It works that way?" And I'm telling you, it does. Consistency, the power, the magic of consistency is like nothing I've ever seen with this business model, relationship marketing. In other words, if you're consistently, you can do a few hours a week, 5 to 10 hours a week, let's say, every week through an entire year. You're leading by example. You're setting the pace for your team. And many of them, not all, but many of them are going to do what you do. That consistency creates amazing momentum and growth with the business. Now, you could divide the same number of hours. You could say if you had a week off from your day job or whatever, and you worked 40 hours one week, and then took 2 or 3 weeks off, and then 40 hours another week, and then took a couple weeks off, and then 5 hours, and then took a few weeks off. Folks, when you have the inconsistency of effort, it's amazing. The business doesn't take root. Again, it's like rolling down your window, throwing some seed out. A couple days later, throwing some seed out. That consistency is the key. So when we get to the power of part-time, now I've added another word that I want you to keep in mind. Okay, this is all, I'm layering this out on purpose. First word was intentional, part-time versus spare time. The power of part-time, you got to be intentional. It's got to be a priority. And number 2, you got to be consistent. Consistently part-time. Again, that's the differentiation, again, between what I call part-time and spare time. You can build an empire with V&I part-time. You're not going to have much meaningful success with your goals with spare time. Okay. You got to be intentional. It's got to be a priority. You got to be consistent. That consistency creates momentum. So the power of this plan that I'm going to roll out right now is based on those criteria and everything that we've talked about so far today. Here's the plan. I'm going to show you the plan. Ask yourself this. If someone, we're talking about business building now. If someone taking these amazing products, taking this brand, taking all the tools and the resources that you have, taking the leadership of both corporate and field that's in place, that's been cultivated over the last almost basically 5 years since this company's been in place and been growing. The idea is, if someone has a desire for some positive change in their life, and they want to build a business, maybe for whatever reason, the reasons are very personal. Maybe it's to pay off debt. Maybe it's children's education. Maybe it's grandchildren's education. Maybe it's to supplement retirement. Maybe it's because you haven't had a pay raise in your job in 10 years. And it's to create some supplemental cash flow. And over a course of a few years, maybe your vision is to go full time. Whatever the reason is, you've got your vision. All right. Ask yourself this. Is it a feasible business plan that new member of your team, and let's say it's me, I'm joining your team and I've got a desire for some change. I've got my own reasons for building. You've helped me identify that. We've talked about it. You've asked me, hey, Jeff, what is it you want to create with your V&I business? Why is this important to you? You know, if we could have a cup of coffee 2 years, 3 years from now, what needs to happen with your V&I business in order for you to be pleased with your progress? That's a great question. That's a great leadership question. Okay, so I've got my reasons. Now here's the minimum plan. The minimum plan is, could Jeff Hooks add one customer or one partner to my business every month, placing a product order and setting up their subscription? Setting up their subscription, folks. We're not going to get into that today, except to say that every single person you enroll, either a customer or a partner, you should set up as a subscription. Why? Because we want people to engage with these products for at least 90 to 120 days. And that subscription program is it's the most convenient way for people not to run out of product. We're going to be introducing in January some things that will make the subscription model even more appealing and even more important to you and your team. So stay tuned on that. But just recognize you want to build your distribution business with people enjoying and being blessed by these products, but not just one-time orders. We want to encourage and lead people in a way that's going to benefit them, not you and me, but it's going to benefit them. They need to be on this product for 90 to 120 days to develop a new habit and to nourish their body at a cellular level. And once that's the key, because you don't want people to think, okay, I'm going to take 1 ounce of Protivite and I'm going to be doing one-arm push-ups, right? You want people to commit for longer than just a week, okay? Some people experience results with these amazing products quickly, but some don't. The fact of the matter is you can't feel prevention. The fact of the matter is many of us, most of us, myself included, have eaten poorly for years because we're eating processed foods. We're eating out at restaurants. So you want to give your body a chance to respond. And therefore, you want to set people up with a mindset and expectation. I'm going to engage with these products for 90 to 120 days. How do you do that? It's a subscription. Okay? So back to the plan. I'm going to add, I just joined your team. Can I add one new customer or partner with a product order and a subscription per month, every month? And when I asked that question, I hope every one of you said, yes, that's doable. That's doable. Folks, that's not much work. That's not. I mean, if you want to say that's 5 hours a month of effort, maybe, probably a lot less. Could be more, depending on where someone's working. But it's very doable. All right. So this whole plan, the Power Part-Time, is predicated on that fundamental activity, that building block. Build the model, replicate the model. Okay. Now, the goal is we're going to bring Jeff Hooks. I just joined your team. I'm going to bring one customer or one partner in my business per month with a product order and a subscription. That's it. That's the price of admission. Now, you're going to do the same thing. Okay. You're leading by example. You're setting the pace. Well done's better than well said. You're doing what you want me to do. So you're doing the same thing. You're adding one customer, one partner per month. And then we replicate that. Build the model, replicate the model. So let me start my screen share. Okay. And I want to bring up this document here. All right. As you see there, understanding how to leverage the power of part-time with your V&I business, the power of duplication and the compound effect. Okay. Now keep in mind, this is just a basic plan that anyone could do. Any part-time member of your team, any part-time partner could do this plan. If you've got someone that's more highly motivated, they can just do more of this. Okay. But this is the power of consistency. It's everything we've talked about so far this morning. Okay. The time commitment. If you look at where my mouse is, the time commitment, 3 to 5 hours per week, including plugging into one Zoom presentation, our Thursday night presentation, live or recording, and one Zoom training per week, which is what we're on right now. Okay, so we're talking 3 to 5 hours a week is the minimum. That's the commitment per week. Consistency creates momentum. Now, let's walk through this. So, month one, let's say this is you. Month one, remember the goal, personal enrollment or recruiting is one person per month. So at the end of month one, you sponsored one person. You've added one member to your team. And at the end of that first month, if you see where my mouse is, you've got now 2 people on your team. Stay with me here. I'm going real slow on purpose. So it's you plus 1. So you got 2 people. At the end of 1 month, your massive Victory Nutrition International business in this example is 2 people. Okay, you're probably not beyond, excited about this yet, right? Your goal, your vision is bigger than this, but trust the process. I want you to write that down. Trust the process. Build the model, replicate the model. Month 2, what are you going to do? You're going to do the same thing. Consistency creates momentum, 1 per month. Okay, and the person, let's say it's me, that you brought in month 1 is going to do the same thing. So at the end of the second month, you now have 4 people in your business. What are you going to do personally month 3? Exact same thing. You're going to bring 1 new customer, 1 new partner in with a product order and subscription. At the end of third month, and we're going to do the same thing, you've got 8 people now on your team total. Okay, this is after 90 days, folks. Think about this. And by the way, most people that fail/quit lose their vision within the first 90 to 120 days, if they even engage at all. Okay? Without a vision, the people perish. You want to be able to paint this picture for people. So at the end of month, or going into month 4, what is your plan? Your plan, personal production, stays the same. Consistency creates momentum, 1 per month. And we do the same thing. Every member that you brought into the team, in this example, myself included, we're doing the same thing. 1 new customer, 1 new partner with a product order and setting up their subscription. At the end of 4 months with this model, perfect world, you got 16 total in your group, 16 total. Now I'm using 100 PV just for simple math, just to paint the picture. So let's say everyone was enjoying 100 PV worth of product. Our average order is actually 50% bigger than that, a little bit more than that. Okay, so let's say 100 PV. So we're low balling. All right, 16 people at 100 PV equals 1,600 for that 4th month in purchase volume. And if we use just looking at the unit level, we're not talking about fast start. We're not talking about any of the other bonuses. We're not talking about the map pool. We're not talking about any of that. Just to keep it simple, let's use an average of 5% looking at the unit level to see what the residual is going to be. 1,600 PV times 5% equals $80 a month residual. Now, let me hide that right there. So, all right. So think about this. If someone did not know where this was going, correct me if I'm wrong, and I know from experience, it would be very easy for someone to say, you know what, this isn't working for me. I've tried V&I now for 4 months. I've been consistent for 4 months. I've been following the plan for 4 months. Now, I love the products, and I'm going to keep taking the products, but you know what? This business isn't working for me. And guess what? They're wrong. In this example, it is working. Consistency creates momentum. Now, at the end of the day, again, after 4 months, you could say, you know what? I've got an $80 a month residual. Now, granted, there's some fast starts in there and other things, but I barely, at best, I'm getting my product for free. I mean, I'm not even covering my product cost after 4 months. But again, keep in mind, back up to the top, you're only talking about 3 to 5 hours a week. And you want to have a vision that's longer than 120 days. Okay? Now, what does it say underneath there? A leader knows where they're going. Rinse and repeat. Trust the process. Do the basics. Do them often. Do them well. Don't question. Just go back to work. Go back to work. All right, month 5. What are you going to do? You're going to keep leading by example. You're going to add one customer or one partner with a product order and a subscription. Okay? And at the end of the 5th month, you've got 32 total in your distribution team, consuming the product on a monthly basis, on subscription, hopefully, at least most. Okay? Month 6, same thing. Now, look at this. Let's keep going. You get the idea. The whole building block is, look back here at month 1. It's everybody doing what you do, your partners, those that are building a business, doing what you do. That's this model. It's over time, we're going to teach you how to build a distribution business made up of customers and partners. On the partner side, you're going to build a team of a lot of people doing a little bit every week, every month. And then out of that, you're going to have some superstars that raise their head up, the Ed and Gina Benders. You're going to have some of the top leaders. You're going to have the Ken Nasmiths that jump out and raise their hand. You're going to have the Dwight Halsteads. You're going to have the TJ Dillinghams. You're going to have the leaders that want more. And you don't have to find them. They're going to find you. You're going to see them. But again, the model is based on a very part-time effort that's consistent, intentional and consistent. And look how this thing grows. Now, as you roll this thing out over 12 months, I just let you little peep if you look. All right, at the end of 12 months, going into the 13th month, how perfect world as this replicates, how many people are you going to have, customers and partners, enjoying these products in your business at the end of 1 year, going into the 13th month? And drum roll, the answer is 4,096. 4,096. Think about that. In 1 year part-time, doing what everyone could do. Now, we also know, think about this. So let's just use 4,000. If we go 4,000 people at 100 PV consumption of product on a monthly basis, that's 400,000 in PV. 400,000 times 5% is a $20,000 a month residual for you. As an example, now folks, keep in mind, we never make health claims. We never make income claims. Okay? Your results are based on your effort, your productivity. But what I'm sharing with you is these numbers are real. These numbers are possible. And it's the power of the model. Some of you might achieve certain levels faster than others. Some of you, it might take a long time. It doesn't matter, but perfect. But you need to understand how the dynamic of compounding, the dynamic of how this distribution model starts to scale once you overcome inertia, once you put some key leaders in place and you stay consistent. So look at that. Now, here's reality now. Let's take it from theory to reality. Just because Jim Rohn says the things that are easy to do are easy not to do. Okay? So just because everyone could do this business, you're only talking about adding one customer or one partner with a product order and a subscription per month. That's it. Anybody can do that. The things that are easy to do are also easy not to do. So just because people can do that, just because someone says they want better health, they might not, that same person that says they want better health won't take Prodivite every day, but they're going through the McDonald's drive-through 3 times a day or twice a day. Okay, so not everybody. Again, we meet people where they are. We encourage, we love on them. We speak truth, and we focus on those that we can help, and those that are willing to take a step with us. That's the way this business works. That same person that says, you know what, I can't pay my credit card debt. My car just broke down. I can't fix it. unfortunately, sometimes, not always, but sometimes that's the person that won't even carve out 35, 40 minutes on a Thursday night to plug into our product and business overview presentation with a guest. So everybody has to, but so here's the reality. Even though everyone could follow this plan, not everyone will. So look at the bottom. What if 50% of the team did what you and I agree everyone could do? What if 50% of people did what this model, this very doable model? Well, that'd be $10K a month residual for you. $10,000 a month. What would that do for you and your family? What would that do as an additional cash flow? You might say, well, Jeff, that's 50%, but I mean, that's 2,000 people in a month. I'm just telling you, this is the way it works. If you stay consistent, if you teach and train your team this plan. But let's break it down even further. What if only 1 out of 4, what if only 25% of your team did what you and I agree everyone could do? What if only 25% did that? Okay, then you'd be at 100,000 PV times 5%. That's a $5,000 a month residual. And by the way, we've got people already in as young as V&I is that are at these levels and above. So folks, it's doable. It's doable. But you got to have the right mindset, and you got to be consistent, you got to be intentional, and you got to teach and train your team how to leverage the power of part-time. Folks, I'm telling you, if we teach this model, people won't quit. The partners that join your team won't quit. That doesn't mean they're always going to be consistent. They're not going to execute with perfection, but most are not going to quit because they realize, you know what? The only variable is me. The only variable is, all right, here's the model. Paint by the numbers. If everybody's got their own responsibility, if you've got to, paint by the numbers, go from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, people still have to have the initiative to do that simple action and do it consistently before the picture starts to materialize, before the vision becomes a reality, before the dream starts to become a reality. So, but if you'll teach and train, if you'll equip your team to understand the leverage that's available with the V&I business model, folks, this is life-changing stuff. This is game-changing stuff. And you and I have to teach and train it. Now, I want to wrap up with this. This is real important. I'm going to stop the screen share. And I want to close with intent. I want to close with a couple of concepts building on this that we're going to build on as we move forward. All right. So a new partner joins your team, not a customer. Customer's great. Customer's easy. But customer's important. When you add a customer, make sure you follow up with them about the time, make a note of when their product should arrive, follow up with them, coach them through how to take the product, and then check in on them and ask for referrals at the right time. Nurture your relationships with your customers. Now, with your partners, those that want to build a business, and again, make sure everyone's on subscription. For your partners, let's talk about what your responsibility is to set your partners up for success. These are the people that join your team that want to build a business. Could have a small goal, could have a big goal, could have a modest vision, could have a huge vision. Doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm gonna take 10 minutes and we're done. Setting your new partners up for success. Okay, what do you do? What do you want to do? Etc. All right. First of all, recognize from a leadership standpoint that every time you interact with a member of your team, whether you personally sponsored them or they're somewhere down in your organization, recognize that there's 2 leadership principles that I want you to ingrain in your mindset. And this is for everyone, our leaders, our top leaders, our brand new partners. Recognize that your responsibility or your privilege of leadership is, number 1, to encourage. If you come from a traditional business environment, there's not a lot of encouragement that goes on in the workforce. And I'm not talking hype. I'm talking genuine encouragement. I'm talking, I believe in you. You can do this. Celebrate the baby steps. If they got out of their comfort zone and contacted one of their contacts to share V&I products with them, celebrate that. What gets recognized, what gets rewarded, gets repeated. Okay, that's true in business. It's true in parenting. It's true in every area of life. And so be an encourager, consistent with your personality, consistent with your, be authentic, be the best version of you as God made you. But be an encourager. That's critical. Number 2 is build belief. Build belief every time, whether it be recognize every engagement, every touch point with partners on your team is an opportunity to encourage once again and to build belief. So whether that's a phone conversation, whether that's an in-person meeting, whether that's a text exchange, whether it's an email, you and I as leaders, we got to be careful with text and email. Make sure that, a lot of times, especially in the modern world, I don't do this. I still try to use proper punctuation, but there's a lot of, acronyms, abbreviations. There's not a lot of punctuation in some cases. Be careful with text and email. It can be misconstrued. Always make sure, even if someone's off track and you feel like you need to give them tough love, just remember, if you don't have a connection with that individual yet, from a leadership standpoint, it's always better to coach from a positive position of encouragement than to correct or discipline, even if they're off track. Now, as you cultivate that, we're going to talk more about this as we move forward, and this is more advanced leadership. But as you're coaching your team, and as you develop that relationship, that connectedness, then if someone's off track and they need a course correction, you've earned you've got the equity, the relationship equity built up, where you can have that productive conversation if you handle it correctly. But I want to encourage us as a culture. Missionaries, not mercenaries. I want our leadership culture to be that of encouragement and of building belief in our mission, building belief in our products, building belief in the business model, building belief in people's own personal ability. That's one of the privileges and responsibilities of leadership is to believe more in people than in some cases they believe in themselves. And cultivate that, nurture that belief. Sometimes people don't do what they're capable of doing with you and me in this business because they don't have the self-concept yet. They don't realize what their potential is. They don't realize what their capacity is. So as leaders, people will rise or fall to your level of expectation of them. So be an encourager and build them up. Build them up. Again, not hype, but catch them doing things right. And trust me, even men like praise and encouragement. You got to, there's some discernment there. But when somebody makes the right moves, when they, celebrate the baby steps, celebrate the incremental progress, and keep that in mind. Again, if you just put it on a postcard on your dashboard, well, not dashboard or car because you want to be drive focused on the right things, but just cultivate a mindset of this from a leadership perspective. Every time you connect with a member of your team, before you answer that phone, remind yourself, hey, this is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for me to encourage. It's an opportunity for me to build belief. Now, beyond that, someone joins your team. Your responsibility is to help them decide what they want. Okay? In other words, why are they launching a V&I business? What is it that they want to achieve? Help them identify a dream that they're willing to fight for, okay? Whether it's retirement cash flow, whether it's paying off debt, the burden of debt that we've all felt, whether it's carrot visions, like carrot, like a vacation or a new car, or whether it's stick, paying off debt, getting rid of creditors, carrot stick motivation, whatever it is, help when they join your team, It could be a phone conversation. It can be a cup of coffee. It could be a Zoom, however you want to do it. But have a conversation with them and help them identify and memorialize. They need to write it down, the reasons, at least some of them, reasons why they're building their V&I business. And here's the key. That vision might evolve. It likely will as they're moving forward. But help them, again, identify. Usually, it's amazing when you help from a leadership perspective, when you help somebody identify one dream, one compelling reason, a dream they're willing to fight for, one compelling reason why they're building their business, they're going to tend to be consistent and persistent. Okay. And especially as you take that and then you teach them how to leverage the power of part-time that we've just gone through. Okay. So help them decide what they want, the reasons why they're building. Also, plug them into some training. Plug them into this training. Plug them into the Quick Start training. Plug them into your upline success coach so they can help them just some of the key fundamentals of how to invite and how to share these products and how to share the business, how to make a phone call, a three-way call, etc. So number one, help them decide their why, the reasons why they're building. Number two, plug them into some fundamental training. Okay. Number three, then here's the key. We want to lead them into action. We want to lead them. Let me go ahead and give you all these and then I'll tie it together and we're done. Lead them into action. That to me is the secret sauce of leadership. Okay. A lot of times what we do is we'll help them decide what they want to some degree. We'll plug them into some training and then we let them go and go find somebody else. Okay, the work just begins. Once somebody, let's say they've ordered a basic or a promoter or a share and grow pack, you got a new partner that's just engaged. That's where the work begins. Again, encourage, build belief. That's where the work begins. And you want to pour into these people. You can't do it for them, but you can do it with them. And so you want to set them up for success. You want to teach them how to leverage the power of part-time. You want to walk them through that or let them see this video. Every single new person that joins your team should see this video. Okay, think about that. So you help them to identify their why, you plug them into some training, and then you lead them into action. And number four, you're there to work with them every step of the way. So what do I mean by that? If they take a step, you take a step. When I was building in the field, and even to this day in my role serving you and your team as president, I'm not going to take responsibility for someone else's business, even though I care about them. They have to take that responsibility. They've got to be intentional. Okay. If they're just rolling the window down, throwing seed out the window, and then expecting me to go behind them and add water and sunlight and pull the weeds, that's not going to work. It's not going to work for me. It's not going to work for you. So people have to, if you take a step, I take a step. I'm not going to take responsibility for your business, but I'll be there with you every step of the way. And I'll shepherd you and I'll work with you. And if you work to 10 o'clock, I'll work to 10:01. You know what? You want to do a three-way call at 10:30, 11 o'clock, 11:30 at night? I'll do it. Okay. But I'm not going to do the call while you're sleeping. Okay. It's a team sport. All right. We got to do this. You take a step, I take a step. So lead them into action and be there to work with them every step of the way. Now, final points. When you lead them into action, we want to point that activity. When we talk about activity, we're talking about sharing the V&I products and sharing the V&I business model. Okay, sharing and caring with a smile on our face, love in our heart, putting this good seed out there in the marketplace and determining based on need, based on the interest of the person we're sharing, customer or partner. Blessing people physically with these products, financially with this business model. That's the way it works. Now, here's the key. We want to point that focus into three key areas when you're starting a new partner. Okay. The first is you want to point them to manager. Okay. I'm going to do one more screen share real quick. You want to point them to manager. Okay. Shut that down. Right here, this is straight from the partner side of your, the opportunity section of the partner site. We want to point them to, don't get into all this. Don't even let them see it. Focus right here where my mouse is, manager. You want to explain what manager is. You want to explain that that's 130 PV, and they should be set up on a subscription for that anyway. They don't have to be, but they should be. That's the easiest way. 130 or above PV subscription. And again, our average subscription is beyond that. Okay, so you want to walk them through the 3 components to going manager. They need to personally enroll 3 partners. Customers are great, but we need 3 partners for this. So 3 people that want to build some sort of business. They want to create some cash flow. Okay, customers are great. So in addition to customers, right here, 3 partners. And then 1,125 in group volume. Those are, check, check, and check. Those were my mouse checks, okay? That's the key. You want to let your new partner, don't get into any of this. Don't get into any of this. Let them know about manager, to set a goal to go manager. And folks, it's doable in 1 month. If you want to go part-time, if you want to stick with, to the T of the power of part-time, you might look at 2 months. But realistically, it's very easy, particularly a couple of builder packs, and you're there. It's very, very, very doable. So number 1, point that activity and focus to manager. Number 2, and this is only 3 things. Number 2, talk to them about the fast start. 30% bonus, paid weekly. Business we do this week, you get paid next week. Okay, let them know that's the short-term carrot. That's the one of the keys to creating that immediate income, getting the money back on their partner pack, however they got started, a basic or a promoter or a share and grow pack. This fast start bonus is the immediate income. Business we do this week, you get paid next week. Okay, and third and finally, folks, one of the most underutilized tools in the V&I plan is the MAP pool. Folks, it's a tool to help create urgency, and it's a leadership tool. Stay with me here, we're almost done. It's a leadership tool to help you lead your people into action and to help you lead your people into activity with urgency. The MAP pool, very simply put, if you don't know what it is, it's very simple. You lead by example with your subscription of 130 PV, and this is when a brand new person joins your team, a brand new partner. They've got the month that they came in. So for example, if you sponsor me today, December 1, I've got the month of December, a partial month, and then I've got 90 days following. So I'd have January, February, and March in this example. And every personal partner that I sponsor on subscription of 130 PV or more counts towards the MAP pool qualification. And for every 5, I get 1 share in the MAP pool forever. And this is dividing up 1% of company sales. Okay? Company CV. All right? So this is a powerful, I want you to spend a little time here and get comfortable with this. And I'm telling you, this is one of now Ed and Gina Bender do an amazing job. Some of our other leaders do, so I don't want to discount that. But the MAP pool, those are the 3 things that you want to focus on. And just in conclusion here, starting your new partners off correctly. Have a mindset and build your team a leadership culture of encouragement and build belief. Help them determine their why, plug them into some training, lead them into action, be there to work with them every step of the way, and then point their focus right out of the gate to going manager, help them see. Don't let them get bogged down in any of this other stuff. Just manager. What does it take to go manager? And set a date and work towards that. I'll give you a perfect example. Mike Boston and Ken Nasmith's organization, you're going to be hearing Mike's name more and more, just came in, partial month, very part-time. He runs multiple other traditional businesses. He's got a real estate company. He owns country clubs. And Ken and I walked him through manager. We had about literally a 5-minute conversation. He said, I'm going to be manager before the end of November. And guess what? He was. That's all he focused on. We didn't even really get into fast start or MAP. All right. Then you focus on the number 2, the fast start bonus, what it is and how it works. Business we do this week, you get paid next week. And then the tool of urgency also is the MAP pool qualification. When someone just launches, they've got the month that they come in and the first 90 days after that. So just over 3 months to lock in their qualification permanently to perpetuity forever with the MAP pool. And we'll talk more about this in some future trainings, but this MAP, it is a tool. The MAP pool is a tool for leadership urgency to help you get your team moving forward, and they can get 1, 2, 3, multiple shares of the map pool within the production their first just over 3 months, their first partial month, and then their next 3 full months. So that's the key. Point their activity towards those 3 areas, and you're off and running. Everything else is on the job training. Everything else. So let me take it off of screen share. Folks, we have covered a lot of ground, and you've stayed with me every step of the way. How to leverage the power of part-time, and building on that, how to start your new partners off correctly. That's it, folks. It's the 1st of December. I hope you were pleased with your progress in November. Let's have an awesome December. Let's finish the month strong. I will tell you, my best month as a history in relationship marketing as a personal distributor, this is years and years and years and years ago, over a decade ago. Actually, it was a decade ago. Was December. So December is a wonderful time to build. We're going to talk about that on the monthly kickoff call Tuesday night. And I hope you have a great weekend. Join us Monday at 8 o'clock for our monthly product call with Bill Downs, our founder, and Steve Kushner, our co-founder and head of research and development. And then Tuesday night at 9 o'clock, we're going to have a specific focused 30-minute call, monthly kickoff call for the month of December. How to make but build on this, folks. Let's make December an amazing month. Let's bless people with these products, set some goals, and recognize that this can be a breakout month for you as we position ourselves and the company for an amazing 2019. When we unveil in early January what we've got planned for you, I just had 3 days with our founders and our executive team down in Fort Lauderdale, 3 days of strategic planning meetings last week. And folks, I'm so excited for all of us. The best is only getting better, and we're all in for a beautiful future together. So I appreciate you. Have a blessed day and a wonderful weekend, and we'll be talking with you Monday night on the product call. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.